Have you ever felt like something's missing in your life? Like you're just going through the motions day after day? Well, what if I told you that the key to feeling more alive, more connected, and more at peace is already within you? It's true. And it's called spirituality. Now, before you think this is about religion or sitting in a cave for hours, let me stop you right there. Being spiritual is simply about connecting with something bigger than yourself, and the best part? You can do it right in the middle of your busy life. Imagine waking up each morning feeling excited about the day ahead. Picture yourself dealing with stress like a pro, and going to bed each night feeling fulfilled. That's what bringing spirituality into your daily life can do for you. It's not about big changes or fancy rituals. It's about small, simple things you can do every day that make a huge difference. In this video, we're going to explore how you can be spiritual in your everyday life. I'm going to share with you some easy, practical ways to connect with your inner self and the world around you. We'll talk about how to start your day on the right foot, how to find meaning in the little things, and how to end your day feeling grateful and at peace. These aren't complicated techniques. They're simple habits that anyone can do, no matter how busy you are. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about being spiritual every day? Well, let me tell you, it's a game changer. When we don't connect with our spiritual side regularly, life can start to feel a bit flat. You might find yourself feeling stressed out more often, getting frustrated easily, or just feeling like you're stuck in a rut. It's like we're running on autopilot, not really living, just existing. But when we make spirituality a part of our daily routine, amazing things start to happen. You might notice that you're more patient with your kids or co-workers. You might find yourself appreciating the little things more, like a beautiful sunset or a kind word from a stranger. You could even discover that you're handling life's challenges with more grace and less stress. Here's the thing. Bringing spirituality into your everyday life isn't always easy. It takes a bit of effort and mindfulness, especially at first. But trust me, it's totally worth it. The peace of mind, the sense of purpose, the feeling of connection, these are priceless. And the best part? You don't need to drastically change your life or spend hours meditating. It's all about small, simple practices that you can fit into your normal routine. So, what exactly are we going to cover in this video? Well, I'm excited to share with you some really practical, down-to-earth ways to bring more spirituality into your life. We're going to start by talking about what daily spirituality really means. It's not what most people think, and understanding this can be a real eye-opener. Then, we'll dive into some simple but powerful practices you can start using right away. We'll talk about how to start your day in a way that sets a positive, spiritual tone for everything that follows. I'll share some easy ways to be more mindful and present throughout your day, even when you're doing mundane tasks like washing dishes or commuting to work. We'll also explore how your interactions with others can be a powerful spiritual practice. You'll learn how small acts of kindness can not only brighten someone else's day, but also deepen your own spiritual connection. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do anything weird or uncomfortable. These are all things that fit naturally into your day-to-day life. I'll also be sharing some personal stories and experiences throughout the video. I've been on this journey of bringing spirituality into my daily life for a while now, and I've learned a lot along the way. including what works and what doesn't. My hope is that by sharing these experiences, you'll see that this isn't about being perfect or reaching some unattainable state of enlightenment. It's about making small, consistent efforts that add up to big changes over time. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of simple, practical ways to bring more spirituality into your everyday life. These are things you can start doing right away, no special equipment or training needed. And the best part? You can adapt these practices to fit your own life and beliefs. This isn't about following a strict set of rules. It's about finding what works for you and helps you feel more connected, more alive, and more at peace. So, are you ready to discover how to be spiritual in your daily life? Let's dive in and explore this together. Trust me, by the time we're done, you'll see your daily routine in a whole new light. You'll start to recognize the spiritual opportunities that have been there all along, just waiting for you to notice them. And who knows? This could be the beginning of a whole new chapter in your life, one filled with more meaning, more joy, and more connection than you ever thought possible. Let's start by clearing up a big misunderstanding. When most people hear the word spirituality, they think of incense, meditation cushions, and people chanting Om. But that's not what we're talking about here. Being spiritual in daily life is much simpler and more accessible than that. At its core, daily spirituality is about being aware. It's about paying attention to the present moment and recognizing that there's more to life than just the physical stuff we can see and touch. It's about feeling connected to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. Think of it as tuning in to a frequency that's always there, but that we often ignore in our busy lives. Now, this doesn't mean you have to believe in any particular religion or higher power. You can be spiritual whether you're religious, agnostic, or atheist. It's not about what you believe, but how you live. It's about finding meaning and purpose in your everyday experiences and recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're drinking a cup of coffee in the morning. Normally, you might gulp it down while scrolling through your phone, barely tasting it. But with a spiritual approach, you might take a moment to really savor the aroma, to feel the warmth of the cup in your hands. You might think about all the people involved in getting that coffee to you, the farmers who grew the beans, the workers who processed and shipped them, the barista who brewed your coffee. Suddenly, that simple cup of coffee becomes a moment of connection and gratitude. That's what daily spirituality looks like. It's not about adding new activities to your day, but about changing how you approach the activities you're already doing. It's about finding the sacred in the ordinary, the extraordinary in the everyday. Now you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but I'm way too busy for that kind of thing. I get it. Life is hectic. But here's the beautiful thing about daily spirituality. It doesn't take extra time. You don't need to set aside an hour for meditation or go on a weekend retreat, although those things can be great if you want to do them. Instead, it's about bringing a different quality of attention to the things you're already doing. For example, when you're washing dishes, instead of rushing through it while thinking about your to-do list, you could use it as a chance to practice mindfulness. Feel the warmth of the water, the texture of the soap bubbles. Notice the rainbow colors in the bubbles. Listen to the sound of the water. Suddenly, a chore becomes a spiritual practice. Or when you're stuck in traffic, Instead of getting frustrated, you could use it as an opportunity to practice patience and compassion. Look at the other drivers and remind yourself that they're human beings with their own struggles and joys, just like you. Send them silent well wishes. This simple shift in perspective can turn a stressful situation into a moment of spiritual growth. The key is to start small. Don't try to transform your entire life overnight. Pick 1 or 2 daily activities and try to approach them with more awareness and presence. It could be your morning coffee, your commute to work, or your bedtime routine. As you get more comfortable with this approach, you can gradually extend it to more areas of your life. Remember, being spiritual in daily life isn't about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. It's not about never getting angry or always feeling blissed out. It's about being more aware, more present, more connected. It's about recognizing the depth and richness that exists in every moment if only we take the time to notice it. And here's the really cool thing. As you start to bring more spirituality into your daily life, you might notice some surprising benefits. You might find that you're less reactive to stress, that you're more patient with others, that you're able to find joy in simple things. You might even notice improvements in your physical health, as many studies have shown links between spiritual practices and better health outcomes. But perhaps the most profound benefit is a deeper sense of meaning and purpose in life. When you start to see the interconnectedness of all things, when you start to recognize the sacred in the ordinary, life takes on a new dimension. Even mundane tasks can become meaningful when approached with a spiritual mindset. So that's what we mean by being spiritual in daily life. It's not about adding more to your already busy schedule. It's about changing how you approach what you're already doing. It's about waking up to the magic and mystery that's already present in your everyday life. As we go through the rest of this video, keep this understanding in mind. The practices and tips we'll discuss aren't about doing more, but about being more aware, more present, more alive. They're about helping you tap into that spiritual dimension that's always there, just waiting for you to notice it. Now that we've talked about what daily spirituality really means, let's clear up some common misunderstandings. There are a lot of myths out there about spirituality, and these myths can sometimes make people feel like spirituality isn't for them. But I'm here to tell you that spirituality is for everyone, no matter who you are or what you believe. This is probably the biggest misconception out there. While religion can certainly be a pathway to spirituality for many people, spirituality itself is much broader than any single religion. Spirituality is about your personal connection with something bigger than yourself. Whether you call that something God, the universe, nature, or simply the interconnectedness of all things. You can be spiritual without being religious, and you can be religious without necessarily being spiritual, although many religious people are also spiritual. Think of it this way. Religion is like a map that can guide you on a spiritual journey, but spirituality is the journey itself. Some people find that map helpful. Others prefer to find their own way. Both approaches are valid. While meditation can be a wonderful spiritual practice, it's not the only way to be spiritual. Remember what we said earlier about finding spirituality in everyday activities? That's just as valid as formal meditation. If you enjoy meditation, great. But if you find it difficult, or it just doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. There are countless ways to connect with your spiritual side. For some people, spirituality might come through spending time in nature. For others, it might be through creating art or playing music, or even through physical activities like running or yoga. The key is to find what works for you, what helps you feel more connected, more alive, more in touch with something bigger than yourself. This is a big one, and it can be really harmful. The truth is, being spiritual doesn't mean you never get angry, sad, or frustrated. It doesn't mean you're always floating around in a state of bliss. Spirituality isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is always great. Instead, spirituality can help you navigate all of your emotions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's about being present with whatever you're feeling, without judgment. It's about developing a deeper understanding of yourself and your emotions. And yes, over time, spiritual practices can help you find more peace and contentment. But that doesn't mean you'll never have a bad day again. Some people have this image of spirituality as something you do in isolation, like monks meditating in a cave. But for most of us, true spirituality isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about engaging with it more fully. It's about being present in your relationships, your work, your community. It's about bringing more awareness and compassion to your interactions with others. In fact, many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of service to others as a spiritual practice. So being spiritual might actually lead you to become more involved in the world, not less. While there's nothing wrong with buying meditation cushions or taking spiritual retreats if you want to and can afford it, these things are absolutely not necessary for a spiritual life. Remember, spirituality is about your inner experience, not about external trappings. You don't need any special equipment to be mindful while doing the dishes, or to practice gratitude before bed. Some people think you have to be a certain type of person to be spiritual. Maybe someone who's naturally calm, or very intellectual, or from a particular cultural background. But the truth is, spirituality is for everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are, what you do for a living, what your personality is like, or where you come from. If you're human, you have the capacity for spirituality. This is another big misconception. Spirituality and science aren't opposites. In fact, many scientists are deeply spiritual people. Spirituality is about recognizing that there's more to life than what we can measure and quantify. But that doesn't mean rejecting the things we can measure and quantify. It's about embracing both the known and the unknown, the measurable and the immeasurable. While some people do make big life changes as part of their spiritual journey, it's not necessary. Remember, we're talking about bringing spirituality into your daily life, the life you're already living. You don't need to quit your job, move to an ashram, or give up all your possessions. It's about changing your perspective and your approach to life, not necessarily changing your external circumstances. While cultivating a positive outlook can be part of a spiritual practice, true spirituality isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is always great. It's about facing life as it is, with all its joys and sorrows, and finding meaning and growth in all of it. Sometimes, spiritual growth comes through facing our challenges head on, not by pretending they don't exist. This might be the most damaging myth of all. Spirituality isn't about being perfect. It's about growing, learning, and becoming more aware. It's a journey, not a destination. Everyone on a spiritual path is still human, with human flaws and mistakes. The key is to approach yourself and others with compassion and understanding, recognizing that we're all works in progress. By busting these myths, I hope you can see that spirituality is much more accessible and relevant to everyday life than you might have thought. It's not about fitting into some preconceived notion of what a spiritual person looks like. It's about finding your own authentic way of connecting with yourself, others, and the world around you. As we move forward in this video, keep these mythbusters in mind. Remember, there's no one right way to be spiritual. The practices and tips we'll discuss are meant to be adapted to fit your life and your beliefs. The goal isn't to become some idealized version of a spiritual person, but to become more fully yourself, more aware, more connected, more alive. So, let's leave these myths behind and move on to some practical ways you can bring more spirituality into your daily life. Remember, this journey is yours. You get to define what spirituality means to you and how you want to incorporate it into your life. The most important thing is to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to explore. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Mindful mornings, starting your day with intention. Let's talk about how you start your day. You know that saying, "You woke up on the wrong side of the bed"? Well, there's some truth to it. How you begin your morning can set the tone for your entire day. That's why creating a mindful morning routine is one of the most powerful ways to bring spirituality into your daily life. Now, I'm not talking about waking up at 5 a.m. to meditate for hours, unless that's your thing, of course. This is about simple, practical ways to start your day with intention and awareness. Even just a few minutes of mindful practice in the morning can make a big difference. Let's start with the moment you wake up. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone to check emails or social media, try taking a few deep breaths. Feel the air filling your lungs, then slowly release it. As you do this, set an intention for your day. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be as simple as, "Today I choose to be patient," or "Today I will notice the good things in my life." Next, try a quick gratitude practice. Before you even get out of bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big things like your health or your family, or small things like the comfortable bed you're lying in or the cup of coffee you're about to enjoy. This simple practice can shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. As you get up and start moving around, pay attention to your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice how your muscles feel as you stretch. Be present in your body as you go through your morning routine. When you're in the shower, really feel the water on your skin. As you brush your teeth, pay attention to the taste of the toothpaste and the sensation of the brush against your teeth. If you have time, you might want to do a short meditation or some gentle yoga. Even just 5 minutes can make a difference. If you're new to meditation, don't worry. It's simpler than you might think. Just sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. That's it. You're meditating. As you have your breakfast, practice mindful eating. Really taste your food. Notice the flavors, the textures, the temperature. Think about where this food came from and feel grateful for all the people and processes involved in getting it to your table. Before you start your work or daily tasks, take a moment to set your intentions for the day. What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to feel? How do you want to treat others? Writing these intentions down can be a powerful practice. Now I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I barely have time to get ready in the morning as it is. I get it. Mornings can be hectic, especially if you have kids to get ready for school or a long commute. But here's the thing. You don't have to do all of these practices every day. Start small. Maybe just take 3 deep breaths when you wake up and think of one thing you're grateful for. As you get more comfortable with these practices, you can gradually add more. And remember, the goal isn't to create the perfect morning routine. It's about bringing more awareness and intention to the start of your day. Some days, you might have time for a 20-minute meditation. Other days, you might only manage a few mindful breaths as you rush out the door. Both are valuable. The key is consistency. Even small, consistent efforts can lead to big changes over time. You might start to notice that you feel more centered throughout the day, that you're better able to handle stress, that you're more aware of the good things in your life. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, try bringing just a little more awareness to your routine. Notice how it feels. And remember, every morning is a new opportunity to start your day with intention and bring more spirituality into your life. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you. One of the most powerful ways to be spiritual in your daily life is through your interactions with others. That's right. How you treat the people around you, from your closest family members to the stranger on the street, can be a profound spiritual practice. When we think about spirituality, we often picture someone meditating alone or praying in solitude. But many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of compassion and kindness towards others. In fact, treating others with kindness isn't just good for them. It's good for you too. It can deepen your sense of connection and purpose and bring more joy and meaning to your life. So how can you practice kindness as a spiritual act in your daily life? It starts with awareness. Throughout your day, try to be more conscious of your interactions with others. Are you really listening when someone is talking to you, or are you just waiting for your turn to speak? Are you rushing through transactions with cashiers and servers, or are you taking a moment to see them as fellow human beings? One simple practice is to make eye contact and smile at people you encounter throughout your day. This might feel a bit awkward at first, especially if you live in a place where people don't typically do this. But give it a try. You might be surprised at how such a small act can create a sense of connection. Another powerful practice is to offer genuine compliments. Not empty flattery, but sincere appreciation for something you notice about someone. Maybe it's telling your coworker that you admire how they handled a difficult situation, or complimenting a stranger on their unique style. These small acts of kindness can brighten someone's day and help you feel more connected to the people around you. Listening is another form of kindness that can be a spiritual practice. Really listening, not just hearing the words, but trying to understand the person's perspective and feelings. When someone is talking to you, try to give them your full attention. Put away your phone, turn away from your computer screen and really focus on what they're saying. This kind of deep listening can create a profound sense of connection and understanding. Now let me share a personal story about the power of kindness. A few years ago, I was having a really tough day. Nothing seemed to be going right, and I was feeling pretty down. As I was walking home, lost in my gloomy thoughts, a stranger on the street smiled at me and said, "I hope you're having a wonderful day." It was such a simple thing, but it completely shifted my mood. I suddenly felt less alone, more connected to the world around me. That random act of kindness reminded me that even on bad days, there's goodness in the world. From that day on, I made a conscious effort to be that person for others, to offer a kind word, a smile, a helping hand when I can. And you know what? It's changed my life. Not in any dramatic overnight way, but in small, cumulative ways. I feel more connected to my community. I notice more opportunities to help others. And on days when I'm struggling, I remember that stranger's kindness, and it gives me hope. But here's the thing. Being kind isn't always easy. Sometimes people are difficult. Sometimes we're stressed or tired or dealing with our own problems. That's where the spiritual practice comes in. It's about choosing kindness even when it's not easy. It's about recognizing the humanity in others, even when they're not at their best. One way to cultivate this mindset is through a practice called loving kindness meditation. It's a simple technique where you silently repeat phrases like, "May you be happy," "May you be healthy," "May you be safe," "May you live with ease." You start by directing these wishes towards yourself, then to loved ones, then to neutral people, and eventually even to difficult people in your life. This practice can help cultivate a sense of goodwill towards others and make it easier to respond with kindness in your daily interactions. Remember, practicing kindness doesn't mean being a doormat or always putting others' needs before your own. It's about finding a balance, treating others with respect and compassion while also taking care of yourself. In fact, self-kindness is an important part of this practice. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you extend to others. As you go through your day, look for opportunities to practice kindness. It could be as simple as holding the door for someone, letting a car merge in front of you in traffic, or sending a supportive message to a friend who's going through a tough time. These small acts might seem insignificant, but they can create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the immediate interaction. And here's a beautiful thing about kindness. It tends to come back to you. Not always directly or immediately, but over time. As you cultivate a practice of kindness, you might notice that the world seems to become a kinder place. You might find that people are more likely to help you when you need it, to offer you a kind word when you're down. So, as you go about your day, remember that every interaction is an opportunity for spiritual practice. Every person you encounter is a chance to cultivate kindness and deepen your sense of connection. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic. Small acts of kindness, done consistently, can transform your life and the lives of those around you. This is spirituality in action, not isolated from the world, but fully engaged with it, spreading light through your daily interactions. Now let's talk about something we all do every day, eating. You might be surprised to learn that eating can be a powerful spiritual practice. It's not about what you eat, although that can be part of it, but how you eat. Mindful eating is a way to nourish not just your body, but your soul as well. Think about it. How often do you really pay attention to your food? Many of us eat on autopilot, scarfing down meals while watching TV, scrolling through our phones, or rushing to our next appointment. We might not even taste our food, let alone appreciate where it came from or how it nourishes us. But when we bring mindfulness to our eating, we can transform this everyday act into a spiritual experience. So what does mindful eating look like? It starts before you even take your first bite. When you're preparing your meal, or even if you're just unwrapping a sandwich, take a moment to look at your food. Notice the colors, the textures, the smells. Think about where this food came from, the soil it grew in, the sun and rain that nourished it, the farmers who harvested it, the people who transported and sold it. There's a whole world of connections in every meal if we take the time to notice. As you start to eat, try to engage all your senses. Notice the temperature of the food, the texture in your mouth, the different flavors. Chew slowly and really taste each bite. Pay attention to how your body feels as you eat. The satisfaction of hunger being met, the pleasure of flavors you enjoy. One practice that can help with this is to put your fork down between bites. This simple act can slow you down and help you stay present with your meal. You might also want to try eating in silence occasionally without any distractions. This can feel strange at first if you're used to always eating with the TV on or while scrolling through your phone, but it can be a powerful way to focus on the experience of eating. Another aspect of mindful eating is paying attention to your body's signals. Are you eating because you're genuinely hungry or for other reasons? As you eat, notice when you start to feel satisfied. Many of us have lost touch with our body's natural signals of hunger and fullness. Mindful eating can help us reconnect with these cues. Now, I want to share a personal experience with mindful eating. A few years ago, I was going through a stressful time and found myself constantly snacking, often without even realizing it. I decided to try mindful eating as a way to be more intentional about my food choices. At first, it was challenging. I realized how often I ate on autopilot, barely tasting my food. But as I practiced, something interesting happened. Not only did I start enjoying my food more, but I found that the act of eating became a kind of mini meditation in my day. Taking the time to really focus on my meals became a way to slow down, to ground myself in the present moment. It became a time of gratitude and reflection. One practice I found particularly powerful was saying a simple grace before meals. Now, this doesn't have to be religious if that's not your thing. It can be as simple as taking a moment to silently appreciate your food and all that went into bringing it to your table. This small act can shift your mindset from one of rushed consumption to one of gratitude and awareness. Mindful eating can also extend to your choices about what to eat. This doesn't mean you have to follow any particular diet, but it does mean being more conscious about your food choices. Where does your food come from? How was it produced? What impact does it have on your body and on the environment? These are all questions that can make eating a more mindful spiritual practice. For some people, this awareness leads them to choose more whole, unprocessed foods. For others, it might mean choosing locally grown produce or reducing meat consumption for environmental reasons. The specific choices aren't as important as the awareness and intention behind them. One beautiful aspect of mindful eating is that it can turn every meal into a celebration. Even a simple bowl of oatmeal can become a sacred experience when eaten with full awareness and appreciation. This doesn't mean every meal has to be a long, drawn-out affair. Even if you only have 5 minutes for lunch, you can still take a few deep breaths before eating, really taste your food, and eat with gratitude. Mindful eating can also be a powerful way to connect with others. When you share a meal with family or friends, try to really be present. Put away your phones, turn off the TV, and engage in conversation. Notice not just the food, but the company you're sharing it with. This can turn a simple meal into a meaningful connection. Remember, like any spiritual practice, mindful eating takes time and patience to develop. You don't have to do it perfectly every time. Start small. Maybe try eating 1 meal a day mindfully, or even just the first few bites of each meal. Over time, you might find that this awareness naturally extends to more of your eating experiences. As you practice mindful eating, you might notice some surprising benefits. Many people find that they naturally eat less when they eat mindfully, as they're more in tune with their body's signals of fullness. You might find you enjoy your food more, even if you're eating the same things as before, and you might discover a deeper sense of gratitude and connection to the world around you. So, the next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to pause. Look at your food, smell it, taste it fully. Think about where it came from and feel grateful for all the processes and people involved in bringing it to your plate. In doing so, you'll be transforming a simple act of nourishment into a spiritual practice, feeding not just your body, but your soul as well. Evening reflection, closing your day with gratitude. As the day winds down, it's time to talk about one of the most powerful spiritual practices you can incorporate into your daily routine, evening reflection. Just as starting your day with intention sets a positive tone, ending your day with reflection helps you process your experiences, learn from them, and prepare for a restful night. Think about it. How often do you just crash into bed, your mind still buzzing with the day's events or worries about tomorrow? An evening reflection practice can help you transition from the busyness of the day to a more peaceful state of mind, perfect for restful sleep. So, what does an evening reflection look like? It doesn't have to be complicated. Start by finding a quiet moment before bed. This could be right after you brush your teeth, or maybe while you're sitting in bed before you turn out the lights. The key is to make it a consistent part of your routine. Begin by taking a few deep breaths. Feel the tension of the day start to melt away. Then, think back over your day. What went well? What are you grateful for? Try to come up with at least 3 things you're thankful for from the day. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you enjoyed a delicious meal, had a good conversation with a friend, or accomplished a task you'd been putting off. Next, consider any challenges you faced during the day. Instead of dwelling on them negatively, try to approach them with curiosity. What can you learn from these experiences? How might you handle similar situations differently in the future? This isn't about beating yourself up over mistakes, but about growing and learning. One powerful practice is to forgive yourself and others for any mistakes or misunderstandings that occurred during the day. Holding on to resentment or regret can disrupt your peace of mind and affect your sleep. By consciously choosing to forgive, you're releasing these negative emotions and making space for peace and positivity. You might want to keep a journal as part of your evening reflection. Writing down your thoughts can help clarify them and provide a record of your spiritual journey. You don't need to write pages. Even just a few sentences about what you're grateful for and what you learned that day can be powerful. Another beautiful practice is to set an intention for the next day. This could be as simple as, tomorrow I will approach challenges with patience, or tomorrow I will look for opportunities to show kindness. Setting this intention helps you wake up with a sense of purpose. I want to share a personal experience with evening reflection. A few years ago, I was going through a particularly stressful period at work. I found myself carrying that stress to bed each night, tossing and turning as I worried about the next day's challenges. That's when I decided to start an evening gratitude practice. At first, it felt a bit forced. Some days, when everything seemed to have gone wrong, it was hard to find things to be grateful for, but I stuck with it. And gradually, something amazing happened. Not only did I start sleeping better, but I began noticing more positive things throughout my day. It was like I had trained my brain to look for the good stuff. One evening, after a particularly tough day, I sat down to do my gratitude practice and found myself feeling thankful for the challenges I'd faced. I realized that these difficulties were opportunities for growth, for developing resilience. That shift in perspective was transformative. From that point on, even on hard days, I could find something to be grateful for. Now I know what you might be thinking. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. How am I supposed to find the energy for reflection? The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't have to take long. Even just 5 minutes can make a difference. And the energy you invest in this practice often comes back to you in the form of better sleep and a more positive outlook. If you're really pressed for time, you can even combine this practice with other evening activities. Maybe you reflect while you're washing your face or brushing your teeth. The key is to make it a consistent habit. Remember, this practice isn't about forcing positive thinking or ignoring real problems. It's about balancing our natural tendency to focus on the negative by intentionally noticing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives. It's about ending each day with a sense of gratitude and purpose, rather than stress and worry. As you develop this practice, you might find that it starts to influence how you approach your days. When you know you'll be reflecting on what you're grateful for in the evening, you might start noticing more things to be grateful for throughout the day. You might find yourself more aware of the good moments, the small kindnesses, the little victories. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, try taking just a few minutes for reflection. Think of 3 things you're grateful for from the day. Consider what you've learned. Forgive yourself and others for any missteps, and set a positive intention for tomorrow. You might be surprised at how this simple practice can transform your nights and your days. As we come to the end of our exploration of daily spirituality, I want you to remember one crucial thing. Your spiritual journey is uniquely yours. The practices we've discussed, mindful mornings, acts of kindness, mindful eating, and evening reflection are tools, not rules. They're meant to be adapted, experimented with, and made your own. Remember, bringing spirituality into your daily life isn't about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. It's about becoming more aware, more present, more connected to yourself and the world around you. It's about finding meaning and purpose in the everyday moments of your life. Start small. Don't try to incorporate all these practices at once. Maybe begin with a morning gratitude practice, or try eating one meal mindfully each day. As these small habits become part of your routine, you can gradually add more. The key is consistency, not perfection. Be patient with yourself. Some days, you'll feel deeply connected and aware. Other days, you might feel distracted or disconnected. That's okay. It's all part of the journey. The important thing is to keep coming back to your practices, to keep showing up for yourself. As you continue on this path, you might start to notice some changes. You might find yourself feeling more calm and centered, even in stressful situations. You might discover a deeper appreciation for the simple moments in your day. You might feel more connected to the people around you and the world at large. But perhaps the most profound change will be in how you see yourself and your place in the world. As you cultivate awareness and connection in your daily life, you might start to recognize the sacred in the ordinary. You might begin to see how your actions, no matter how small, ripple out and affect the world around you. Remember, spirituality isn't about escaping from life. It's about engaging with it more fully. It's about bringing more awareness, more compassion, more wonder to your everyday experiences. It's about recognizing the extraordinary in the ordinary. So as you go forward from here, I encourage you to approach each day as an opportunity for spiritual growth. Wake up with intention. Move through your day with awareness. Treat others and yourself with kindness. Eat with mindfulness. And end each day with reflection and gratitude. Your spiritual journey doesn't require you to change who you are or what you do. It simply invites you to change how you do it, to bring more presence, more intention, more awareness to the life you're already living. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to connect with your spiritual self. Every interaction is a chance to practice kindness. Every meal is an opportunity for mindfulness. Every challenge is a chance for growth. So, take a deep breath. Feel your connection to this moment, to yourself, to the world around you. Your spiritual journey isn't something in the future. It's happening right now, in this very moment. And it will continue with each breath, each step, each moment of awareness. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of daily spirituality. May your journey be filled with discovery, growth, and moments of profound connection. Remember, you have everything you need to live a spiritual life right now. It's not about finding spirituality. It's about recognizing that it's already there in every moment of your day. All you need to do is open your eyes, open your heart, and embrace it.